Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning. A beautiful Monday morning here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a beautiful Monday morning here at WINNFM. And of course, we are celebrating this month, Valentine's Day. It is the month of love. And WINNFM from today until the 14th would be focused and would be focused on the theme of love. We call this Love Week. Jamster, are you excited about this week? Are you excited about this week, Jamster?
Hey, I'm always excited about love.
Okay, and so the affirmation I wish to share this morning is one that is centered around love. And the affirmation is, I am letting love in my life. I am letting love into my life. I am letting love into my life. Of course, we have a special guest during the last hour from Clarkson Schools, and we will be having giveaways as well. So we are encouraging persons to tune in, stay locked, especially for our second hour where we will be giving away something. I am your host this morning, Azard Gumbs. Unfortunately, I won't be here for the entire 2 hours, but I know that for the second half of the show, that Jamster will carry it through well.
Well, it's just as good because you probably don't drink, right? You probably get drunk from milk.
Well, I have a wine. Red wine is good, so I will have.
Oh my
and it's
God.
actually one of the beverages or one of the drinks that promotes longer life. Once you drink it in moderation, no more than 1 glass a day if you do having it.
So how long you sleep after you drink? Like 12 hours?
So
No?
maybe less.
11 hours. That's still kind of...
Maybe about 6, Jamster. And so I want to share, I like to share a message this morning, every morning, and this message is going to be about love. And it's an article written by Lauren Gerard, and it says, Lauren Gerard, sorry. It says the surprising health benefits of love. The surprising health benefits of love. February is considered or coined as the month of love. But have you ever considered the benefits love can have on your overall health? Now, regardless of whether you fall into the group that enjoys the celebration of love and Valentine's Day, or the group that could seriously do without the pink hearts and love poems everywhere, there's no denying that love itself yields important health benefits that can impact your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Also, no one said you have to be romantically involved to enjoy the benefits of a healthy relationship. And so, here are some of the benefits of love. Increases life expectancy. Research suggests that married people in particular, but those also involved in healthy social relationships tend to live longer. The benefits of these relationships can even lower your risk of heart attack, developing certain types of cancer or pneumonia. Another benefit, maintains a healthy heart. Studies indicate that those who are involved in good, strong, happy marriages have a lower risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who are in stressful relationships or tend to feel lonely more often. Reduces depression. Falling in love, getting married, and maintaining healthy relationships, as well as friendships, have been shown to reduce the feelings of isolation and depression in both males and females, while simultaneously increasing the sense of belonging and happiness. Another benefit, keeps the doctor away. Feeling loved, cared for, and secure tends to boost the immune system and reduce the chance of catching a cold or other viral infections. Those who have a loving support system also tend to recover more quickly from an illness. Another benefit, lowers blood pressure. Happily married couples have been shown to have the best blood pressure values in relation to those who are unhappily married or single, according to one study. So, when you're with the one you love, the lightness feeling you have in your heart may actually be your blood pressure dropping. Another one, decreases anxiety. MRI scans have shown that those who are involved in a stable, long-term relationship had greater activity and activation in the part of the brain that is responsible for the reward and pleasure response, and less activation in the area of the brain associated with anxiety. Reduces stress. Due to the security and support healthy relationships tend to offer, you are less likely to feel stressed if you have a partner or a close friend to help you through difficult situations or emotions. Another benefit, eases acute and chronic pain. Similar to how love reduces anxiety, love can also increase activity in the area of the brain associated with control of pain. Happily married couples have reported having fewer complaints of back pain and headaches. Helps your gut. 80% of your immune system reside in your gut. The feeling of love can help to nurture and support your life-enhancing gut microbiome and fight off harmful bacteria that can make you feel under the weather. Betters your sleep. Because loving relationships lead to less stress, you are more likely to sleep well and feel rested when you are awake in the morning. Tensions are eased when you feel loved and supported, and evidence suggests that happily married couples are 10% more likely to have a more restful sleep. To conclude, if you are looking to lead a healthier life and reap the mental, emotional, and physical benefits that healthy relationships can provide, it's important to cultivate those relationships in your life that make you feel secure and supported, whether they are romantic or not. Happy Valentine's Day. Stay healthy. Well, Valentine's Day is February 14th, and so I decided to share this as WinFM shares Love Week, or as we celebrate Love Week. We're going to celebrate this week and until Valentine's Day, messages of love, giveaways. Jamstar, what's up?
I'm cool. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. It's 70 minutes after 8 o'clock, people. And when we come back, I want to share a story that just came in. Apparently people are totally in love with St. Kitts Nevis.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I'll talk about that. It's not what you think, but right after the break.
Okay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Welcome to Conversations with Our Kids.
Tune in every Saturday morning to Conversations with Our Kids.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this show. I feel like a professional radio announcer already. I am nervous and excited at the same time.
10 a.m. is Kids Time on WinFM. Conversation with Our Kids.
I made sure to tell my entire family, my teacher,
Classmates to tune in. Tune in.
Conversation with Our Kids.
We're going to talk about education, religion, money, family life, social media,
and other interesting topics.
This is a show for kids, created by kids. Conversations with Our Kids. Every Saturday morning at 10, only on WINNmedia.
Listen live on WinFM 98.9 or at WINNmediaSKN.com. Conversation with Our Kids. Every Saturday morning at 10, only on WinFM. Also streaming live at WINNmedia SKN on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
98.9.
Looking back at the competition from miles ahead.
98.9. Win FM.
$8:19 and I'm back, and it's the start of love season here in St. Kitts Nevis, and WinFM is going to be a big part of the Valentine celebration for 2023, and something a little on the sadder side. Apparently, the Haitians are really in love with St. Kitts Nevis because this is a story that was posted 10 minutes ago on Loop News. A vessel with Haitians intercepted in Nevis. Among the adults were juveniles. 15 individuals have been taken into custody following a report made to the police force about the boat coming ashore at Gallows Bay in Nevis. According to reports on February 3 and 6. Around 6 p.m., 2 males were reported to have exited a boat and were seen walking towards Bath Village. Officers from the police force and the Customs and Excise Department responded. The 2 males were found in Bath Village and was stopped and questioned. It was revealed that the men were nationals of Dominica and Haiti. It was also revealed that they arrived on a motor vessel that was anchored off the coast in the Gallows Bay area. They made their way to the shore using a dinghy. Officers accompanied the men to the vessel where they found 13 nationals of Haiti, 10 adults and 3 juveniles on board. They were all detained by the police pending further investigation. So I guess we'll be hearing more on that story as that's a developing story, I'd say.
Wow.
Some people want St. Kitts Nevis to be their Valentine. Clearly.
Yeah. Well, if they love St. Kitts and Nevis as much as we do, of course they will want to be here. St. Kitts and Nevis is an awesome place, Jamster.
The funny thing is, I remember musing back in November, and I've done this over time.
Mm-hmm.
Where I go, man, I could imagine, with all the double salaries and dividends being announced, I could imagine. I actually thought about this, AZ. I actually was thinking, I could imagine all the people are going to be scheming to find their way here, whether legally or illegally. And here we are. Okay?
And just last week we spoke about the U.S. going through the process of having an application where it is that Cubans, Venezuelans,
and Haitians,
could now visit their shores. And in the article here, it says that Cubans respond with zeal to the new U.S. migration policy. So the story here basically...
They have to have family, though.
Yeah. But the story here, I'm not going to go through it, but basically what it is saying is that the Cubans are zealous about the new development, the new U.S. migration policy, and it speaks about a 25-year-old engineer who went from riding his electronic motorcycle past low buildings of Havana to traveling to the mega highways of Florida, amazed at the towering high-rises and giant supermarkets. And that's all I'm going to say as relates to the article.
You're talking about Yoel and Marie.
Say that again?
You're talking about Yoel and Marie?
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yes, I followed it. I'm subscribed to the channel on YouTube.
Well, no, I wasn't talking about that, This is Marcos Mazo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Marcos Mazo.
Okay.
What you were saying about that channel?
Yeah, it's an American with Cuban parents, and she went back to visit her family in Cuba.
Yes.
And she met a Cuban, and she did the papers thing, and now they're living in the States. So they post videos every now and then.
Oh.
And with the guy, really sometimes tearing up. I remember there was one where he went to a Walmart for the first time. When he bought his first car, when he got his first paycheck. I think he works for is it UPS? I think he works for UPS. And it's very touching and heartwarming to see that. Because, man, I remember when he went into the supermarket and he saw, and the funny thing is they actually did a video in Cuba where they went to a supermarket where they had to stand in line, and everything is rationed, and the supermarket is basically empty. I mean, it doesn't even look like a supermarket. It looks more like an empty warehouse kind of. And so to see him going to Walmart for the first time, and Kroger and all these places, and the guy actually started to cry when he actually was like, when he saw all the different cheeses, he was like, all these different varieties of cheese, and I've never seen so many oranges at once, or stuff like that. Just
it's awesome.
That even we here take for granted.
Cuba is definitely a place I want to visit one of these days. Cuba has a rich history. Cuba is very progressive. Cuba is a fantastic nation. You know, you look at the advancement that they have made, basically on their own, and you see that Cuba is a very progressive and a very interesting country, one that I hope to visit one of these days, God spare life. You know, Jamster, something that happened over the weekend, we had the installation service of the first female Governor General, Her Excellency Marcella Liebert, on Saturday. So we had, and based on the news reports and based on the social media, it seemed that not seem, because you could tell there were prime ministers and presidents and other heads of state present in that installation. In that installation service. So a very momentous occasion there at Government House here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
I'm just curious though as to why did they need to have two fireworks displays and two ceremonies? No, I genuinely I genuinely want to know. I mean,
Yes.
it seems, and then the odd time for the first ceremony, you know, at 10 minutes.
Well, I know the Prime Minister indicated that the Governor General would have been sworn in by the 1st of February. So I guess he wanted to make sure that no time elapsed from there.
So then, but then couldn't it have been organized earlier on January 31st? I mean, couldn't it
But
have
then
started?
she will have been residing from January 31st.
No, but I mean, you can time it.
Yeah.
You can time it. So maybe you could have started at 10. Okay, you could have started at 10 o'clock. It just seems odd to me, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think that's a perfectly reasonable take. You know, a lot of the partisan people listening now, you know, they think, oh, he's against the government. I'm not against the government. I'm just asking a question. It's a reasonable question, right?
Reasonable question.
Yeah.
Jamster. So we had that, and congratulations to Her Excellency on her appointment. I mean, first female Governor
yes,
General.
absolutely.
You know.
Congratulations to Marcella.
She has served as a parliamentarian. She has served as a Speaker of the House, and she is a lawyer by profession. I think she was a former teacher as well, and so now.
And while she was also a national netballer.
Yeah.
I think she was on that team. Do you know that St. Kitts Nevis beat big and bad Trinidad and Tobago back in the day? I think she was on. I think Marcella was on that team actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's a woman who has been experienced in many areas, and so we congratulate her here at Win FM for her appointment, and we do hope that as she continues to serve St. Kitts and Nevis, she will do so at the best of her ability, and because it's a great honor. That's the highest office in our land. The head of state, represents the. I don't want even to even that because I know Jamster's
what monarch? What monarch? The so-called monarch. What monarch?
Yes. And of course, I remember that the Prime Minister said an article was done, I think last year, speaking about St. Kitts and Nevis moving towards a republic as well. So perhaps we will have a president sooner or later in St. Kitts and Nevis.
I was having a discussion with someone over the weekend, and they were saying that because there are rumors that they wanna do it for the 40th anniversary.
Oh.
But it could be that they want to do the setup and then perhaps do it next year. I don't know. But someone was saying it takes a lot longer than. They don't think that they can do it between now and
there would be certain
I don't understand
procedures that they would have to follow.
Yeah, I don't understand why it would take that long, but
Yeah. So
don't get me started on listen to this. You realize, right, that the so-called royal family, they're basically descendants of ancient warlords. I tend to say they are basically descendants of ancient warlords and proto-politicians and people who were just more adept at stealing other people's land.
Well, I look forward to
And
a time when we would have, a president, and I look forward to a time when we would have as our final court of appeal the Caribbean Court of Justice.
I know it's the Dodge, but anyway.
No.
Oh, but it's true. And the land theft started with land theft in the UK, and then they probably eventually amass more land, and then where can we turn our attention to? Okay, let's build some ships and go and steal some other people's ish. You know?
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
Well, they came and they colonized in the name of Christianity, and
talk about insult to injury, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have debates of religion, Jam. So remember, I told you that I don't debate religion because
it's like Jesus said, "I'm better than you. I'm taking your land."
So, Jam, so something that persons might think interesting is that U.S. judge. This is again from Loop World News. It says U.S. judge banning guns for marijuana users unconstitutional. A federal judge in Oklahoma has ruled that a federal law prohibiting people who use marijuana from owning arms is unconstitutional. The latest challenge to firearms regulation after the U.S. Supreme Court's conservative majority set new standards for reviewing the nation's gun laws. So lawyers for Gerard Michael Harrison had argued that their client's Second Amendment right to bear arms was being violated by a federal law that makes it illegal for unlawful users or addicts of controlled substances to possess firearms. Harrison had been charged after being arrested by the police in Lawton, Oklahoma, in May 2022 following a traffic stop. During a search of his car, police found a loaded revolver as well as marijuana. Harrison told police that he had been on his way to work at a medical marijuana dispensary, but that he did not have a state-issue marijuana medical card. His lawyers argued that the portion of the federal firearms law, focused on drug users or addicts was not consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation, echoing that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled last year in the case known as New York State Rifle and Pistol Association and Bruin. The case set new standards for interpreting the Second Amendment. So here we have an argument made by an attorney whose client was found on a traffic stop with both a gun and marijuana.
Speaking of traffic stop, it's 8:32 and it's time for
Traffic Talk.
Traffic Talk.
So, what a coincidence.
I know.
Isn't it ironic? So we have with us Sergeant Henry this morning, and we're going to have Inspector Phipps as well. And we're going to so let's take a short break.
We will. And we're going to hear from our sponsor. Our sponsor is Caribbean Alliance Insurance.
Found the sound 98.9
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Oh, okay then. No problem. I'll soon man here now.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode.
8:35. It's time for traffic talk. We've got the officers on deck.
Tension all
Traffic talk brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. The Big AZ.
Yes, Jamster, what's up, man?
Take it to the cop.
Yeah. And so we said before that this week and up to next week, Valentine's Day, Win FM is celebrating Love Week, and of course the police officers are here with us, and in studio we have some decorations. We have red flowers, we have flower petals on the desk, we have a teddy bear. It's all in celebration of Love Week, and so we want to share the love here on Win FM, and of course we want to invite you again next week when you come, and I don't want to say we have giveaways and everything, and so I want to say a pleasant morning both to you and both to Sergeant Henry and Inspector Phipps. They're going to speak with us this morning about tint. And so persons out there, when you look at the vehicles, you see persons there with their vehicles heavily tinted. You can't even see who's driving. You understand? And so we have officers here who are going to speak about the tint.
Good morning, Azard, and good morning, Jamster. I am Sergeant Henry from the Traffic Department. I just want to wish everyone a pleasant morning, those listening radio and via the internet. Also, I want to thank Dilil Walwyn for sponsoring this show this morning. As Jamster said, I am here with Inspector Phipps, and this morning we'll be talking about tinting. And tinting, you can find it in Regulation 62 of the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act 15.06, 2017. And it states, any motor vehicle other than a motorcycle where the whole part of the glass of the windscreen, side rear windows or vehicle is obscured by either the application of any film, tint, or other device, or is custom tinted by the manufacturer, that less than 35% of light transmission is possible. This means the tint should only be 35% on your vehicle. And if the vehicle comes factory tinted already, it doesn't make sense for you to put on any tint on it. Because if you put on 35, you're going to carry it way down. Mm-hmm. Because the glass on the vehicle doesn't come 100% clear. I've tried it. I've showed persons that when you put the tint meter on it, you either get 70-something% or 80-something. And if it's 80-something and then you put it on a factory tinted, that is going to be 20-something%. It's going to carry it way down.
Yes.
So it's illegal. And we also had some amendment in 2017 and 2021. We speak about tint on the windscreen, anything more than 10% 10 inches down on the windscreen, it's illegal. And if you put tint on the windscreen in front, you must put on 35%, not because you're putting it 10 inches down. It must be 35%. Anything less than 35%, it's illegal. I'll stop here for now, and
But let me ask a question. I know, you're right about some of the vehicles coming tinted because it's all about filtering out UV light to protect the surfaces and but how do you guys balance that? I mean, it seems to me. I mean, I'm not saying I want people to driving around with 5% and stuff, but it seems to me it's a valid point to say you want enough tint to keep the car cool for one. And so how do you guys balance it? Because what you said there, I didn't even realize that was a thing. Like you're saying, you can't put on 35 if
it come tinted, a factory tinted.
Or something you can't even tell it's tinted. Yes. Well. If
you put it on tint on a factory tint, because sometimes when you check the factory tint, you get 20-something%. But if you put on a factory tint on that, you're gonna cut it down in the teens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I understand. I understand where you guys are coming from, but sometimes I'm just thinking when you spend that amount of money on a vehicle, maybe you guys could cut us a little more slack.
We're going with the law.
And of course, you would understand some of the reasons why vehicles are supposed to be tinted to a certain level, because if it's too dark, you're unable to see the person in the vehicle.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, officer, could you give us some of the reasons why the law, well, in your own understanding, why the law is what it is?
As you said, Azard, you must see who is in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And if the vehicle is heavy tinted, you cannot see who is coming towards you. It could be a juvenile driving the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And remember, you have to be 18 and over to obtain a driver's license.
Mm-hmm. And then I could imagine, let's say, in situations where there are traffic accidents and there is a runaway, and so you aren't able to see at the time who was driving.
So correct.
Yeah, and persons over who might have observed, they might have said, well, it's Peter George I see driving in that vehicle. But if you can't see at all who's in there, then Peter George would not be, brought.
And some of the things that people telling you why they tint the vehicle dark is because they have this set in the vehicle and the speakers and they have to hide them. And okay, they are security officers, but if you want your tint to be less than 35%, the only person can give you that permission is the Minister of National Security. The police cannot give you that.
Yes.
So once the police pull you over for a tinted vehicle, we're going to make you take it off and you're going to be issued with a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, some person saying, why make me take it off and still give me a ticket? The offense had been committed.
Yes, it has.
And we have to stop the offense there by making you take it off. Yes, you can be lenient and just make you take it off.
But nothing prevents you from doing both.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so persons are encouraged, if you get your vehicles, because you get your vehicles and some of them, as you said before, they have a level of tint already, a percentage. Persons then take that vehicle and further make the glass less transparent.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Inspector Phipps, you have something to say? Oh, and those persons looking, we have here our studios decorated. It's emphasizing love. Here's a bunny. I met it here this morning on the desk, and I met all of these things on the desk.
I love bunny.
I love bunny, yes. Yes.
Good morning, all.
Good morning again.
And just to highlight section 62, subsection 2(6) of the Vehicle and Road Traffic Act as it relates to tint. Notwithstanding the light transmission, the interior of a motor vehicle shall be reasonable, visible from the exterior. What we are saying here is that once we are out, we must be able to see from the outside of the vehicle on the inside. And we can issue a ticket without even putting the tint meter on that glass. Once we cannot see inside of that vehicle, this section gives us the authority to issue a ticket. Also, we would have recognized that persons have their whole windscreen tinted. As Sergeant Henry said, your vehicle, your glass should only be 10 inches Anything below that is an offense. Also, that 10 inches supposed to be 35% light transmission.
Go ahead.
We also recognize that persons have vinyl, and if you know the material of vinyl, light cannot pass through that vinyl. All right? Also, persons have these big posters on their back of the glass. That too is an offense. You must get permission to have those posters on your glass. Also, they have these designs on the bus. You could put on whatever you design you want on your bus around the body, but it must not touch the glass or the number plate.
And it's so much easier when you get your vehicle, just don't do anything at all. And you don't have to worry like me. Yes, go ahead.
No, so what happened is that the lower the percentage of the lower the percentage that is read on the tint meter is the darker. So if your vehicle reads 20%, it is dark. As you know, the law said 35%.
Yes.
And some people have double tint. When you pull them over, they have double tinted. You ask them why you have on this tint. To protect your speakers. Some lame excuses. Also, we would have recognized that person have their front windscreen tinted. Why? The windscreen crack. No. If your windscreen is cracked, you should have the resources to source whatever to have your windscreen fixed.
Yes.
Because as you drive, the windscreen gonna get wear and tear, and you don't know what might happen to a passenger. Maybe piece of the glass might just, God forbid, come off and
damage a person.
Yes.
And so you have to now think about as a result of your failure to act, your mission to act, sustain damage to someone else.
Yes. And this too can be prevented because all vehicles must be inspected before licensing. And so the licensing officers, the inspecting sites, they know what is required. And I'm appealing to all licensing inspecting sites that when persons come to their inspecting site with the heavily tinted, please do not pass the vehicle. Let them go and correct it and then come back and pass it.
Yeah, and licensing is done annually, isn't it? Yeah. So you have to do that check every year.
Every year.
And so, as you say, there might be some persons who might just give the person a pass by.
I'm not saying that because they could also carry the vehicle to the inspection site. It's clean, and after they have it inspected, they put on the tint.
Yes.
But I'm just advising persons to look for these offenses.
Yes. So it's important to know because, a lot of persons are stopped on the way. And you see police officers as you're driving to go to your various destinations. You see persons being pulled over, and you see persons being stopped by the police and checked for their tint.
Yes.
So it's important that you know the law, that you're aware of the law, and that you uphold the law in ensuring that your vehicles maintain the standard necessary as provided by the law.
As it relates to the tint, if upon conviction, if you are convicted for your windscreen fully tinted, the fee is $5,000.
And so it's a hefty fee to discourage persons from doing that practice, from engaging in that practice. $5,000 is like a
6
salary.
months in prison.
Yes, a salary and 6 months in prison. No one wants 6 months in prison.
Both.
Oh yeah, because no one wants their right to their liberty, to be taken away from them. So it's a very serious, in the sense, offense because $5,000 isn't a walk in the park, for many of us, and so. It is important that we adhere to the regulations and the laws of the country as it relates to the vehicles and tinting.
But as it relates to detaining of vehicles, Section 76 gives us the authority, and it states, it shall be lawful for any member of the police force to stop any vehicle on a road with a view to ascertaining whether such vehicle is being used in contravention of this act or any regulations. And in the event of any vehicle being used on a road in such a manner Such member of the police force may take the vehicle or cause it to be taken to the nearest police station where it will be further examined and detained until that vehicle driver can identify and the violation corrected. So persons, we have that authority to seize your vehicle. If you refuse to abide or adhere to what we said as it relates to any traffic offenses, anything, we have that section give us the authority to seize your vehicle.
Okay, it's 8:49. Do I have the authority to take a call? Pretty please.
Yes.
And of course, hey, AZ, I tell you, we have our listeners have perfect timing. In
Yes.
other words, they have imperfect timing because as soon as they said, "Can I take the call?" the call stopped ringing.
Oh,
But
wow.
Here we go. Caller, go right ahead. Traffic talk. Hello, caller. Okay. Anyway, keep your calls coming. 662-0989, 466-0989, and 762-0989. Yeah, I just put this person on, but I don't know. Maybe they're having trouble with their phone.
Yeah, perhaps.
And as the inspector was saying, the law gave us the authority to detain that vehicle. And if you obstruct the police in the execution of their duty, you will be arrested.
Oh, we have a caller. Caller.
Traffic talk, you're on the air. Man, seems like we're having some trouble with that. Either that person has a problem with their phone or there's a problem with that line. I'm more thinking it's their phone because the caller, we're not hearing you. So callers, try again. Okay, go ahead. You guys go ahead.
Sergeant, you were saying?
Yes, I said if you obstruct the police while they're carrying out their duty, you will be arrested for such. So I'm asking persons, when any police officer pull you over for any offense, just abide.
Yes. Just abide, just do what is requested of you as it relates to the law, and you don't have to worry
about getting arrested.
Yes.
Also, those persons who have rental, their vehicles are not supposed to be tinted. Whether the front windscreen, the back windscreen, or the side mirrors. No tint supposed to be on rental vehicles.
Okay, let's try this calls again. Traffic talk, you're on the air. Traffic talk, you're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Okay.
We seem to be having some trouble with the phone. And you realize you actually had a dial tone, but you weren't hearing the person, which is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. So,
Okay, so
yes. And so, of course, persons could be aware of the law as it relates to tint vehicles, as it relates to the road and traffic safety. Of course, we have the Vehicle and Road Traffic Act of St. Kitts and Nevis. And this act is you're able to access it online now, and you're able to access all of the laws online.
Okay,
there's a
hold
law
the call.
commission website.
Let's try it. Let's try again. Traffic talk, you're on the air. Hello. Traffic talk, you're okay, man. I don't know. Traffic talk, you're on the air. Hello.
The mic is up.
No, it's not. It's not a mic. It's the
Volume. I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's up. Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Yes.
Seems to be some problem with the phones.
Yeah, perhaps. But callers, we encourage you to call in. This is your time. This is your opportunity. Call in. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know as it relates to, vehicles and tint. Officers, how often do the police, on a normal basis, generally speaking, do the inspection on the road for the tint?
Every day.
Like that answer. I like that answer. So every day. And from your interaction and from your observation, you find a lot of persons in St. Kitts and Nevis following with the regulations?
Well, they do comply, especially when we have them remove the vehicle. But then, like later in the afternoon, you happen to drive by, and those same vehicle, they put back on the tint.
Wow.
Really?
Doesn't it cost to remove the tint? Doesn't it cost to put back on the tint? Wow. So just for a few hours they take it off and then they pay to put it back on.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
So what do you guys do in that case? I mean, you just take it off, make them take it off again?
We made them take it off again, and this time we would not issue them with a ticket. We would summons them directly where they have to go, directly in front of the magistrate.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Wow. So those persons who have vehicles and they are heavily tinted, they are below the threshold that is provided in the regulation, the Road Traffic and the Road Traffic Act. You need to make sure that you are adhering to the Act, the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. And so persons here, we are here with Sergeant Henry and Inspector Phipps, who are giving you the information because they're giving you now because they want to ensure that when they're on the road or when the police is on the road and they're doing their inspection as they do every day, that you are adhering to the regulations as provided by the state. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It also have some persons have these curtains. And that's an offense also.
they have
It
curtains.
is an offense, yes.
They have
They said
curtains
the
in the
vehicles
vehicle.
come like that,
Uh-huh.
but it's an offense to have them across and driving.
You must be so
You mean curtains-
amazed by
curtains-
the
You mean on the side? You mean like
The windows.
Yes.
Yes. The doors. The side.
you
Yes.
must be amazed by the number of alterations to vehicles that you have seen when you talk about curtains being at the windows.
Well, let's say they come like that. It's like a screen you pull across.
Yes.
Yes, that is an offense also.
Yes. So if you avoided the tint, you can't have the curtains. I guess I am thinking with the curtains, they're thinking that if they were to see persons on the road, police, they could easily slide it across and then slide across again. So I guess they're thinking outside of the box to get around not having to tint their vehicle the way they want it to be tinted.
But sometimes we tint and they still have them up. Yeah, they say the vehicles come like that, but it's an offense to have them.
Yes.
And only vehicles that are exemption are ambulances and hearses,
Yes, with the curtains.
or heavily tinted.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because I know
Yeah.
the ambulances
Yeah,
would have curtains.
Yeah, because for the privacy of the individual, you don't want persons to be treating someone and the
persons looking in.
yeah, of course.
8:57. Okay, let's see if we can get the call to work this time. Traffic Talk, you're on the air. Hello. Okay, looks like we have some kind of problem with the phones. Phones are not working, so I am so sorry, officers. The phone refuses to work.
So, officers, we have about a few more minutes before we conclude Traffic Talk today. Is there anything that you want to give to our listening viewers and those looking on the social media platform?
Remember, if you want to have your vehicle tinted less than the 35%, you should apply to the Minister of National Security for such permission. If you do not have a letter to show us that you got permission, as long as we're doing traffic stop, we're going to make you take it off until such letter can be produced. So you can't just come and say, I have permission from the Minister of National Security. Where's the letter? Oh, I don't have it.
Keep that letter like your license.
Unless you cannot produce such, you're going to have to take off the tint and you might get a ticket. Might.
Yes. Okay. So that's a good talking point.
And this tint is not only about persons out there, but they're also for ourselves as police officers.
Yes.
And we do the same. Once you don't have that letter as a police officer, we move even harder.
Yes.
I'm telling
Because
you.
those of you, those who great responsibility is given to, you have to uphold that because persons are looking, police officers, to uphold the law
No one is
and to
above the
enforce
law.
the law, and no one is above the law.
That's true, yes.
And so I want to thank both of you for coming here this morning. It has been a pleasure. We've had a very fruitful discussion speaking about, the tint, the regulation provided by, the state. And of course, you are welcome each and every Monday. And any day that you see fit to come into Win FM, we have a Love Week here. We have teddy bear. We have flowers. I'm seeing rose petals on the desk, and of course we have a giveaway. And I want to tell persons to join us on our second half of the program, the 9 to 10, where we'll have a representative from Clarkson School who will be giving away some prizes, and they'll be here with Jamster. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be here for the second hour of our program, but I want to tell our listeners to have a pleasant day and to tell you that only a fool looks to tomorrow while looking back at yesterday. So let's have a pleasant day. It's a Love Week, and I am going to leave you with the Jamster. I'm sure that you will be in safe hands, and if not, I'll come back and see you tomorrow and ask you how that experience has been.
Well, I don't know if that's going to work because you just have to see a bottle of wine and you get drunk. So I don't know if that's going to work.
Yes. So Jam, so don't please save the wine for our
9
guests.
o'clock.
Yes.
And Traffic Talk is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. And ladies, it was nice seeing you guys again. We look forward to seeing you next Monday, and hopefully we'll have the phone issue sorted. So listeners, just store your questions for next week. For the officers, they'll be back next week on Traffic Talk. 1 minute after 9 o'clock.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Trish, let's go. The bus is about to leave.
You go. Tell mommy I had detention.
I'm not lying to mommy. Where are you going?
I have a date.
A date? Shh. Don't shush me. Where are you going? I hope it's not to see that old man again.
He's not that old. He just came back from away and he's bringing me a gift.
You know if mommy find out what she's doing.
She won't, cause you're not gonna tell her. I'm gonna bring some money for you too. He always gives me cash to top up my phone and stuff.
No, I don't want it, and I'm not letting you go. Get on the bus or I'm telling the principal.
Secretly receiving gifts or items from older people may be the beginning of sexual grooming, which often leads to sexual exploitation. Don't allow your friends to encourage you to keep quiet about them secretly meeting with an adult. Break the silence. Talk to a teacher, guidance counselor, your parents, or a trusted adult who can help. This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UK Aid, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Don't forget, coming up at 9:30, you're going to have a freshly minted sommelier in the house. A sommelier who also happens to own some liquor stores. Perfect, right? Talk about the perfect storm. And we're gonna have some giveaways with Sunil Gehani. Everyone calls him Sonny. So that's at 9:30 as part of our Love Week promotion here at WIN FM. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. And of course, Shari is going to be joining me for the segment. Unlike AZ, Sharon doesn't get drunk just by the sight of a bottle of wine. Finally. And it's 9 minutes after.
Everybody doing this morning? Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Wow. You ready for some wine, huh?
It's kind of early, but yes. Yes.
What kind of wine do you like?
So I like a good Moscato. I like a good Rosé.
Oh, you like the sweet stuff, huh?
Yeah. Mind you, I would do a Merlot.
Sweet like you?
Can it be? I don't know. But
Isn't that like overkill? I mean,
not for me, no. So I would do a Merlot as well, on some, every now and again I would do a Merlot. But yeah.
So you don't like
Whites?
white wines? No, not really.
I can't really say. I kind of gravitate toward the red. I can't say I've ever said
What
to
about
myself,
Spumante?
"Let me just try it."
What about Spumante?
I've never tried
Italian. It's that Italian sparkling wine. It's basically Italian sparkling. Because Champagne is a regional designation.
Right.
So it's a place in. The Spumante is basically like Italian champagne.
Mhm.
So you never had that?
No.
It's sweet, so you like it.
Well, I haven't tried it yet. Give me a
Okay.
break. I
Yeah,
still have a lot of. This sounds so bad. I still have a lot of drinking to do.
Okay.
That sounded so bad. Oh my gosh. Anyways,
So, wow, you have a lot of drinking to do.
that's what yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll never hear that out of Azard's mouth. No, I kid, Azard. Okay, so I sent you some stuff on the weekend, didn't I?
You did. But before we do that, maybe we should talk about, on a programming note, what's coming up on Voices. And Socrates is going to be the guest, the host for this morning's episode, today's episode. And he is going to have on a gentleman by the name of Earl Warner. And he is the administrator for a genealogy group on Facebook. So if you are one of those people who you're always hearing tales from maybe your mom or your dad or some aunt about some distant cousin that, they barely know about because their grandmother told them something and you barely have a name of the individual. If you want, you could maybe look into that and kind of build out your family tree. Because honestly, with bigger families, sometimes you don't really hear about a relative until, and then you're like, I remember somebody saying something about something, but you're not really sure. So if you are interested in finding out that kind of thing, he could probably give you some tips on
And I guess
how
also,
to go about it.
I was always under the impression that we didn't have as evolved a record keeping system with when the ships came in with the slaves, and you get the impression it's more evolved in the US and so on.
True. I think things are a little bit more detailed there. I think that's one of our issues in this part of the world.
Which is funny because the British tend to be very detail oriented. Because I do remember Miss what's her name again? The lady that runs the archives, Miss O'Flaherty. I remember she was telling us one time about some records they found, which were very detailed because they give all kind of minutiae like cousin to so and so who lives on this plantation and so on. So it would be interesting. So if you're interested in that genealogy stuff, you can join us here on Voices. That should be interesting. I'm thinking.
Yes, it should be. It's also part of us finding out about our history, about our family heritage, which kind of also plays into Black History Month because we're in the month of February, so that works out as well.
Yes, there's that.
Yes, there's that.
It's 9:13. So is there anything that happened on the weekend that maybe you wanted to talk about? Oh, yes, I wanted to talk about this. Yes,
Go ahead.
remember now. Rihanna is Barbados' first billionaire.
Yes.
She is now worth $1.7 billion. Can you imagine?
She worked hard.
Our little old Rihanna is worth 1.7.
She working hard for her money.
And most of that money apparently didn't come from the music. It actually came from her fashion. And
That's the thing, though. That's why so many artists tend to go out in different avenues, like perfumes or clothing lines,
Shoes.
or I've actually, I think Cindy Crawford does like home stuff, like couches
like
and stuff like that,
cookware,
right? So
stuff
they
like
they,
that,
they tend to branch out in these other areas because honestly, that's where you're making the money, because the money that you would say they probably made like 20 years ago, even maybe 30 years ago, you don't get that kind of money now.
Yeah,
it's a
because
completely different system.
Back when people used to buy CDs.
Buy the whole CD. Mind you, as somebody who also bought CDs, sometimes you only liked maybe the 4 or 5 songs out of the 9 or the 13. And that was a hassle in itself. And I think that's how it kind of branched off into, let's just get the single of what we like.
I think the downside is worse than the upside. Because, I don't mind supporting. Back then, didn't mind supporting an artist, but here's another thing that probably our listeners didn't think of. It's more expensive to book artists for concerts now, like including music festival, because of the fact that they don't make as much money selling music. So that's one of the downsides that probably is nice. I remember, I always talk about when we had Drew Hill. We had Drew Hill at the height of their powers.
And Cisco on the height of his, because he had just released Unleash the Dragon. I remember that really well.
And what we got for those guys, considering that they were tearing up the charts at the time, what we got, meaning what we paid them, it was pretty reasonable when you consider. And this was like what, mid 2000s?
Somewhere there. Actually, the album came out in. His album came out in 2000. So yeah.
And but back to Rihanna. Rihanna has basically hit the jackpot. Rihanna makes a lot of money on music. There was another music milestone for her recently. I don't remember what it is. I think she's the only female artist to go die. I can't remember. I'll have to check it out. But
Google it.
It's nice to know that. Excuse me. Frogs, Monday morning frogs. It's nice to know that she actually managed to pull off the entrepreneurial thing with fashion and scents and makeup and so on. So
Fenty. That Fenty makeup line probably is like, I would say 70%, because us females and our makeup.
Yes, I know.
So.
Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to know, Fenty is Rihanna's surname. Her first name is Robin. Rihanna is actually her second name. Robin Rihanna Fenty, and so she uses the name Fenty to sell her
everything.
Yes, everything.
Or everything.
So Rihanna may have taken a 6-year break from releasing new music, but that didn't stop the Umbrella singer from making millions and adding to her already impressive empire. The Grammy Award-winning singer has had a lot going on in the past year, including the release of an Oscar-nominated song for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, a huge appearance at the Super Bowl halftime show that's coming up, and becoming a mom, to name a few things. Here's how much the Pride of Barbados is worth. She is worth a whopping $1.7 billion, according to Celebrity Net Worth. People with a lot of time on their hands just have a whole website just snooping into people's business to see how much they're worth. Anyways, a website that calculates a celebrity's total assets and financial projects. Forbes reports Rihanna is the wealthiest female musician. Yeah, that's what it was. I was trying to remember. Yeah. She is the wealthiest female musician in the world and second only to Oprah Winfrey as the richest female entertainer.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
So even richer than maybe the usual suspects, you would think, like Taylor and Madonna maybe.
So I thought you would have gone straight for the whole Beyonce thing.
And Beyonce. Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
Because remember, the wealth, the combined wealth is what they were looking at in terms of her and Jay-Z, in terms of their worth. So her alone, she's an entity unto herself. I love it.
You know what's funny though? Apparently in the past, Super Bowl performers didn't get paid.
No, because
but she's getting paid.
She's getting paid?
Yes.
So what the rationale back then was, you're like on one of the biggest stages in the world because everybody pays attention to the halftime show. For football, American football, let me not get it twisted, because they refer to what we call football as soccer. That's a whole lot of story. But I'm not going to go down that road. So it's like one of the biggest stages because, again, everybody pays attention to it. So they figured we don't necessarily have to pay you because what you get with regard to sales, a song.
Because you get a spike. You get a spike.
You get a
right
spike
after.
in all your albums,
Yes,
basically. So
right after.
they figured that that's your payment.
Mhm.
So
But-
it's surprising now to hear that Rihanna's being paid. So I'm wondering if going forward everybody else will be paid.
But then there's an angle to that. Maybe this might explain it. You know that Jay-Z is responsible for the booking of
the talent.
the talent for the past three or four Super Bowls. And Jay-Z was the one who actually Rihanna was actually signed to his label for a while when he was the head of A&R at Def Jam Records. And yeah, so I mean, she is in very rare company because most of the other people haven't been paid. They're paying her. I saw the figure, but I don't remember what it was. Do you guys know that? I didn't even know this. She signed a $25 million deal with Samsung back in 2015 for their Galaxy products, the phones.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's also collaborated with MAC Cosmetics, Dior, Armani, Gucci, among many others. And so I'm wondering, I remember when I read this article last week, I was thinking, it would be nice. Is her stuff expensive?
Can't say I've ever. I've seen the price point for her makeup. In terms of what that is compared to everything else, I'm not sure because, of course, the more luxury brands cost more, and some people will pay more for that luxury brand. But in terms of, I don't know how relative it is in pricing, so I know nothing about that.
So you don't think an outlet that sold her stuff here would it make money? You think?
I honestly, would they need to sell her stuff here? Because right now everybody is bringing in what they want through their own shipping. So I don't know.
But well, what if it's duty free? Say it's on Port Zante somewhere. That wouldn't work.
Ooh, you put it up Port Zante. I just saw the figures rise in my head from what? From the figures I originally see.
Because listen to this.
Know.
This is a Instagram post she did. I've been waiting for this moment. Fenty Beauty and Fenty Skin are finally dropping in Africa, Botswana, Ghana, and Kenya, Namibia, a whole bunch of African countries. So I remember, and it's happening on May 27th. So only the day after my birthday.
Okay.
So I was thinking, those countries, I would like to think that the cost of living is it's lower there, but the standard of living is also lower. So don't you think we have an economy that can support a store, Rihanna's store selling?
All I'm saying is, it would probably be Barbados based. I don't think she would need to have multiple stores in the region.
Well, not multiple stores. Well, maybe one here. We're kind of like in the middle of the OECS chain.
I understand what you're saying, but knowing her is Barbados. Because she pushes Barbados big time. Yeah. So if she did do something like that, it would probably be in Barbados, and then they'll probably ship it to the rest of the region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 9:23, and I found how much she's getting paid for the halftime show. Many people may assume performing at the Super Bowl includes a great payday. However, the truth is performers don't get a dime, as per an Esquire report. The outlet says the NFL does dish out all the money for the production of the halftime show and will also cover the performers' travel expenses. But apparently they said they're going to be paying us. So yes. So apparently they're supposed to be paying her. They didn't give her the figure. They didn't give the figure, but apparently she is getting paid. I don't know. So don't forget, coming up at 9:30, we have got someone from Corks and Screws, a sommelier, and we're going to be having some giveaways as part of our Love Week promotion. It's February 6th, so basically Valentine is a week away. Well, just about a week away.
Just about a week, yeah.
Yeah. So
let's take a break.
We will take a break.
We will take a break
at 9:24.
different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
This is your official invitation to the conscious party.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Selector Highest, strictly positive and conscious music on Conscious Business on WinFM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Track of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WinFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
$9.25, and we are back. We were talking about Rihanna, Barbados' first billionaire. And trust me, we're just as proud. We're probably just as proud
as the
Rihanna.
Bajans.
Yes, I can tell you that. Yeah.
Yes. Anybody who excels in the region, yeah, we love to see it.
Yeah, for real. Don't forget, we have Sonny of Corks and Screws coming up at 9:30, and that hour is going to be brought to you by Rams. And, of course, Corks and Screws itself. And he's a sommelier. I'm going to ask him a few questions about that. That's something that's always intrigued me. I'm sure, you know, there are about 2 Kittian sommeliers now. There's a guy, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, we had a guy visiting. He lives in Chicago. You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, sommelier. And I think Mr. O'Gara's son for Dufries out on, right? Yes. So he's a sommelier now as well, right? Okay, good. Yeah. So you have someone to have conversations with.
Yeah, you're the third Kittian. All right.
He's the third Kittian.
He's the third Kittian.
Okay.
All right.
He's rearing to go, clearly, right?
Yeah, he is ready to talk about wine.
I'm
Yes.
telling you. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Is there anything else on the?
Did you touch on the fact that Beyonce is now the most awarded person in terms of Grammys? Apparently, no, she has 32 after last night. I know, I'm stunned.
Wait, last night was a Grammy?
Last night was a Grammy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you see, years ago, Jabster, we would be all over this.
I had no idea.
Now we're like,
And I remember when we were having dinner last night, right? We had dinner kind of late last night, and the TV the kids were watching. I think Nick at Night was on, and I remember they're thinking,
there's something I'm supposed to be watching, you know.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
but oh man, so she won best man. So I have to go and check that list then.
Yes, and then you could probably talk about it
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we could have
But
been,
I
yeah.
think if I remember correctly, somebody sent me this morning that Harry Styles won Album of the Year, and I'm like,
Harry Styles.
That was my reaction. I'll leave it alone. Yeah, he won Album of the Year. Also, Viola Davis. She's now an EGOT. She has an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
Did she a book or something? A
Mhm.
spoken word thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
for an audio book.
Okay.
So she's an EGOT winner now.
Wow. So how many Grammys did Queen Bee win last night?
Last night, I don't know how many she won last night, but
Okay.
I know in total it's 32.
Who got best rap album? You know?
You're asking me stuff
Okay,
I don't
all right,
know.
all
I
right.
just
I'll
mentioned.
I'll check them afterwards.
Right.
I had no idea. Wow. I knew something was off last night. 'Cause I was
Old
like,
age, old age.
There's
Yeah.
something I'm supposed to be
Old age.
watching. I mean, we all criticize the Grammys, but we all still kind of hate watch. Well, not hate, but you know what I mean. Disapproval watch kind of thing. Like, I'm not really crazy about you guys, but let's see what you guys do this year. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9:29. We've got Sonny coming up from Corks and Screws. He's a sommelier. Stay tuned and you'll find out what a sommelier is.
because I'm sure they keep saying that
What?
word
Yeah.
and we're not quite sure what that
is
means.
a sommelier?
Mhm.
Maybe they think it's like a fancy mathematician or something.
I doubt math
Like a
was
sommelier
anywhere.
or no, some. Maybe they hear some or they.
A sum of? No.
Alcoholic mathematician.
Oh, an alcoholic mathematician. I like it.
That's a good one.
I like
That's
it.
a good one. Okay, let's take the break, and we're gonna come back with Corks and Screws and Sunny.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist
You
it.
can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
Buster! We run things, things are run we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Well, it's 9:31, and it's time for the Corks and Screws education on wine and the giveaway, right? I didn't know how else I would put it. Hey, Sonny, what's up?
I'm fine, thank you. How you doing? Good.
And we were hearing all about the fact that you're somebody. Tell the listeners what that is.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, I want to thank WINNFM and their team with all the what they've been doing for bringing us down over here and talking about it. I really appreciate it. But I must admit one thing: I'm one of the biggest follower of Island Tea.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Every morning, dutifully, while driving to work, doing errands, this is what I listen to. And you guys been doing a really good job. So I should just say, for awareness, public awareness, social, a lot of other events. I think people must listen to this. I mean, it's very informative.
Thank you so much, Sonny.
Coming back to your question, sommelier.
Yeah.
We have masters, we have diplomas in every other, business sectors or any other profession. It's the same thing with the wines too. Why does a wine need a specialist? To be quite honest with you, wine is not a typical alcohol. It is used for people. People have begun the wine drinking process have begun really. It has increased a lot over the past 10 to 15 years. Medicinal purposes. People use it for a lot, but this is the alcohol which doesn't affect your liver that much. Anything in excess does affect it, but that's one of the things. So sommelier, what's the job of the sommeliers? Most of the time, sommeliers, what they do, they are in the restaurants, they are into the wine industry. They go, they educate people about the wine, what is wine, how it is made. What are the cons and the pros of drinking wine, and also mostly the sommeliers are, they are into direct restaurant businesses, hotel businesses, and few of the sommeliers, they are into the wine distribution, wine sales, and this is it. That's all it really works for.
Okay.
But they have a complete knowledge. They have a lot of knowledge about the wine. I remember when we were giving the exams, we were asked to taste the wine. It was just a complete blind tasting, and we were given. I was particularly given a wine, and they said, "Taste this." To me, I'm thinking it's going to be expensive wine, tough wine, or some French wine, or Italian, some European old world wine. Turned out it was a yellowtail and some Australian, southern eastern Australian. Thankfully, I picked it up because I'm one of the fortunate person who have tasted a lot of wines in my 15 years of the career. So
Southeastern Australia. Because most of the Australian wines I've had are usually from the southwest, like Queensland and stuff. So
I'm not aware of it, but there is you have McLaren Valley, and then you have Yangara Valley, and then the southern eastern of the Australia produces majority of the wine. Because it's on the southern east, and it's really near to the coast, so it makes it very much so. Yeah.
Yellowtail.
Majority of you have Yellowtail, you have other wines coming down like Lindemans.
Banrock Station.
Yeah. You have also Penfolds. You also have many other Australian major brands like Wolf Blass. They are produced in the southern eastern of Australia. Not a big fan of the Australian wine, but
really, the Banrock
specifically, I would say that Yangara Valley and McLaren Valley, they produces one of the best Australian wines.
So, what would you recommend to how would you go about let's say acculturating a wine beginner, someone who maybe likes wine but they don't know much about maybe pairings and stuff like that? How would you?
Well, what do we do in terms of it? Since we have the platform and we have the environment of talking about the wine, what we do, Cox and Screws does Wine Down Wednesday. Wine Down Wednesday is a wine tasting. I actually started this program with a couple of friends about in 2018, I should say, 2018 in the month of September, October. And we were 5 drunk friends,
5 drunk friends.
Not a bad thing to say, but and it came down. They gave me ideas. Why don't we make it commercial? It's really fun. It's more educative. It's more fun. So what do we do in Wine on Wednesday? We pick about 4 to 5 different wines, sometimes 5, sometimes 4, based on our budget. And what we do with it is, give the education about the wine, what to see if the wine is good or not to taste, what can be paired with, etc. Answer to your question is, Wine on Wednesday is a good platform if people want to learn about the wine. We are also running the program for...
Tell us time and place. Time and place.
It's every other Wednesday. We begin about like 6:30 in the evening, sharp. That's the only event which begins on time. And that's the only tasting. And 6:30, we do it up to like 8:30. And after that, we run the specials in the shop for the people.
Okay.
And
so basically, if they do find a wine that they like, they can always get it one time.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. Wine tasting. We also run about the WSET programs, which is Wine and Spirit Educational Trust. I did it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Jimmy did it, and there are a couple other friends of mine who did it. And we are the sommeliers for the island.
Okay.
And Jimmy is in Ashio, by the way. Sorry, I call him Jimmy. and also that is a platform where you go to level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4.
Okay.
We are the only people who provide to the level 4 training on the island.
Are you planning to take the master sommelier? That's the next step up. You're planning to take the...
I am. I am preparing already for that.
Wow.
And it is, believe me, it is, as people say that, it's only wine drinking and what else you have to know. There's a lot of technical details about the wine, which is done. I will have to visit to the different wineries around the world to do the research. So you have to finish out the research. And there are not many master sommeliers in the world. So...
yeah.
Let's hope Like Kim Collins, we do.
And I heard the exam
Petition
is
flag
hard.
high up
Yeah.
as a master sommelier.
Yeah, the exam is really hard.
Yeah.
There was a movie
Very
on
difficult.
Netflix that actually spoke to it. The premise of it was there was a young man who his father had I think it was a barbecue business.
Oh yes.
And he wanted to get into that, and his father was like, "Why? Because I needed to run the barbecue thing because he was his only son, and he wanted to do that instead." So that was the first time I actually kind of got to see behind the scenes of what they need to do to actually become a Somali.
Speaking of which, there are two wine movies I can think of. Have you ever seen Sideways?
Absolutely.
And A Very Good Year?
Yes.
Okay.
A Good Year is my favorite
Yes.
movie.
I read the book first.
Story behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that was
Russell Crowe has always been my favorite
Yeah.
actor,
Yeah.
and I was jobless. I remember it was 2007, and I was sitting home, depressed. Don't know what to do. And funny enough, I was going to give a job interview on Monday morning for a real estate company, and Sunday I'm watching this movie, A Good Year. Russell Crowe, and went for a job interview for the real estate company to end up into a wine shop right after that movie.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
See, inspiration comes from everywhere.
I know.
It's a fantastic movie.
Okay. So I think
there are 3 movies actually for the wine related. Four movies for the wine related. As you mentioned, Sideways.
Yeah.
A Good Year. And the other one, what you mentioned.
I'm trying to remember the name even as I'm brought it up, and I can't remember.
We were talking about it last week, weren't we?
No, not you and I. No, it wasn't.
It was
you
me.
and I.
Oh, it was me and Shari and I.
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask an important question because I drink some wine, but how long will wine actually last after you open the first bottle?
3 days.
3 days.
Good question.
Yeah, because
once it's kept in the good condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we are ready for our giveaway. So we're gonna be giving some. We're gonna be.
I think you were going to ask some questions.
Oh yeah. Before we actually get to that, because we do have some good time left still.
Yeah, sure.
So say you're having a small gathering or even a larger gathering. How do you figure out how many bottles of wine that you would need?
Well, it depends. For example, like if you're gonna have the other alcohols, people usually ask me that questions many times. During the time of the wedding.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in the wrong room.
Yeah. Too
You
bad.
should probably
too bad.
switch to us.
Too bad.
Very nice.
And also what happens is there are 50 people. You have beers, you have other different alcohols. So there are technical questions which I really ask about, if it is going to be limited to a glass, to a 2. So it depends. If you want to have a full wine pouring open bar, then it increases. So it depends.
Let me ask another question, and we're going to be opening the phone line soon for the giveaway. But I always wonder this: what countries? I mean, I know this is subjective, but you spoke earlier about, obviously, wine is an old world thing. What non-traditional wine makers would you recommend to persons wanting to explore beyond the usual European wines?
There is nothing called non-traditional winemakers, to be quite honest with you. The world have differentiated the old world and the new world. The European wines are considered to be the old, and the rest becomes the new. Every country have their own producers, own magnificent and charismatic producer, which really attracts a lot of wine. So it is difficult. You have to really go down and talk about it. Okay, well, if I was you, what would you drink?
Yeah, like I said, it's a subjective thing.
Yeah,
so
it's very subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Cabernet Sauvignon is coming out from California. I still think it's one of the best. What can give a tough fight to the Californian wine producers is Chile, Argentina, South Africa produces one of the best Cabernet.
Yeah.
So there are different. There are so many. There are about 600,000 wineries in the world. roughly, and
And who-
it's difficult to.
So,
get it.
who are some of the unsung European wines now? Because there's all those a lot of countries. Pretty much every country has a wine.
I
but-
should in my lifetime I have drank this particular wine called Sartori. They produce one of the delicious wine, and also what they do is it's very affordable for the price range, and I think that's really coming out from Italy. Beautiful wine, beautiful. So that's one of them I can speak about.
One other question. This rule about I've noticed the pairing. For example, reds tend to be paired with like beef and and then you notice whites are paired with fish and so on. But is that hard and fast? Because
No, it is not. It's not really difficult. For example, I could also pair snapper with a Pinot Noir.
Oh.
Exactly.
And that is not subjective because it depends on what exactly the chef is going to produce, what kind of sauces they are going to use, how they are going to do it. They're going to do it grilled. They are going to do it boiled. So those are all the technical terms which really comes up.
Okay.
Yeah. I have my assistant Kissy over here. She is WSCT level 1, 100% mark.
Ooh.
Wow. So, folks, if you're just joining us, 9:45, it's all about corks and screws and wines. This is a big part of the Love Week. You have to have the wine and the strawberries and the wine. Did I say the wine?
This said the wine.
And we have Sonny, one of our resident sommeliers, in studio. We're going to be opening the phone lines very soon for some giveaways. And like I said, I'm in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong room because I'm actually
Yes.
being served a glass of wine as we speak, and it's a red.
If Azard was here, he'd probably pass out.
And it smells
just
good.
by
It smells really good.
Azad have a good appetite of drinking, so I'm sure he can handle that.
Really?
glass of wine.
Okay.
News to us.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like the kid Azad. Okay. So
I hope Azad don't take it offense.
No. I need
I
one
don't
all the
take-
time now. So what's that we're having?
So what we're doing is the Sterling Winters California New World wine. I did
Okay.
bring it because it is very easy for a rookie or a toddler into the wine drinking process to start with the Californian wines. They have more fruit in it, so it's not too. In a simple English language, it's not too harsh.
Okay.
It is very smooth, so people can really enjoy it and understand the aspects of the wine. Because I remember I have been successful for I'm responsible for 4 to 5 people who I have influenced in my lifetime in St. Kitts. They used to drink either beer or either some sweet wine, change their palate. So this
Okay.
is how I like to work on.
Okay, so I want you to take a sip and give me one of the actual descriptions, because I love those. Actually, I'm Shari. I should tell you, I actually do that silly thing. Like when we're having wine, I'll take a sip of wine
And say what
I want those silly things that they say. Oh, it's
not silly thing, it's actually-
it's very chewy. It's very chewy with a blackberry finish, and she cracks up. So Sonny, I want you to give me an actual technical description of that wine.
Okay, I'm gonna do with you. So there are 4 S's. I should say 5 S's of the wine drinking formula. First is C. What do we see?
The color.
The color, and you see the rims around over here.
Yes.
What color do you observe as at present?
So it looks red.
No.
Oh,
turn
so-
it and put
oh,
it
turn it.
over.
Oh, my bad,
Just
my bad.
slant it a little bit and check it on the white paper of your
Oh,
diary.
on the white paper. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, I do see like a dark
Ruby.
color. Yeah.
That's right. So that means that wine is not old; it's young, and it is good. If that rim color was brownish, orangish, that means the wine is really old. There is a possibility that the wine might be bad.
Oh.
Yeah. It's 80% possibility it goes bad.
Okay.
And then second, over here, if you see the tears are coming down.
Yes.
I don't want to be controversial on this radio, so
Tears, I like that.
Yeah, it looks like tears. Yeah.
Yeah. So those tears are those tears are shows what will be the density or the texture or the body of the wine.
Okay.
So if the slower it comes down, that means heavier the body is. So that means a heavy wine.
Okay.
Well, what do we do? The third S is swirl. I mean, sorry. The third,
Smell.
The third is smell. What do you smell? Now comes your part.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I do. To me, there's like a woodsy smell.
Absolutely,
To me,
yes.
some sort of spice to it as well.
Correct.
Wow, Sharon. Whoa.
This is me smelling the entire time, though, but which is why I'm so quiet.
You
I'm
can
trying to
smell
figure
a
out-
little bit of clove and cinnamon in it.
Mhm.
Obviously,
trying to figure out-
you have an oak because it's an oak fermented, so you can smell that wood inside.
As in the barrel, the cask.
The barrel.
Yeah.
Oak barrel. And then what do I smell mostly is this small hint of a chocolate, which I smell it, a cocoa inside. So yeah, and then you have the fourth S. We swirled it, we saw it, we smelled it. Now fourth S is to
sip.
Sip.
I'm in the wrong
Oh,
room.
swirling. Oh, I need to swirl it. Okay, cool. My bad.
You
Hold
need
on.
to keep on swirling it. It's become a little bit of chewy. The chewy nature comes up because of the tannins. What are the tannins? When we peel a banana, when we try to eat the banana, the tannin, that stickiness, is tannin, technically. That tannin of the grape is, we call chewiness. It's still bitey. When you tasted it, what do you taste? Did you taste it in the front of your taste bud, of your tongue, middle of your tongue, back of your tongue? If you taste all the three taste buds, that means it's a round because you have sweet, salt, and bitter. Also, so that technically emphasizes you that how the wine is going to be. If it is a round wine, if it is a long finish, if it's a medium finish, do you taste the sugar level? Do you taste the fruit? That means the sugar level is a little higher. I could tell you it must be about like 14% alcohol in this one. More the fruit, more the alcohol. It doesn't gives you a burn in your chest when you drink it. That means the acidity is lower.
Lower.
It doesn't have that much acidity. So it's a minus acidity plus alcohol. All those technical terms comes up. So that means this wine is ready to go. Good to go.
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
You didn't ask what is I said 5 S's.
I smile at the end of sip. Sorry, that would be me.
So
what's the final S?
So that would be the finish now. The fifth one would be.
Fifth one will be drink it with Sunny.
Ah, see? So I smile and drink it with Sunny. Okay, cool. Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. It was really good, Jam. So yeah, you were really on the wrong side. I'll take another sip.
Really on the wrong side. Don't worry.
Now, this particular wine, the heaviness of the wine will tell you if the wine is more heavier, that means it is good for a meat steak.
Okay.
It's a wine which you would drink it and eat it. You just wouldn't drink it just by itself because it's heavier.
Okay.
So you need a food with it.
Like a steak.
Yes, definitely. And if the wine was a little lighter, easy drinking, you can drink it by itself, or you can pair it with even tuna. Tuna fish is a red meat technically.
Yeah.
You can even pair it with the red snapper.
Okay.
But not this particular wine. I would say Pinot Noir. So
Here's a question. It's a two-part question, and I think you'll enjoy answering it. Given the usual cuisines around here, and the fact that probably people don't think of, say, pairing a wine with, say, goat water, or even in your case. So I want you to tell me, one, the wines you would pair with some of the typical things we would eat around it.
Okay, you
let's
name
say,
it.
Okay, say goat water.
I would go for Pinot Gris or a Pinot Blanc, white wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and so I'm gonna I'm gonna do it two ways. So, in terms of Indian cuisine, like your cuisine, what would you pair? What would
Riesling, Pinot Gris.
let's say
Pinot Grigio.
butter chicken. What would you pair?
Butter chicken, I would pair with Chardonnay.
With Chardonnay.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer because you have buttery taste inside. The other Pinot Grigios and Sauvignon Blanc, they will just not be compatibility because of their acidity level.
Okay.
So Chardonnay will be the ultimate choice because it goes through a malolactic fermentation,
Okay.
barrel
Yeah.
fermentation.
Curry goat and mutton.
Curry goat mutton again, same Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tikka masala. I'll just throw that out there. This is for Lano, if she's listening.
Tikka masala is going to be mostly the Riesling because you have masala spice inside.
Mhm.
So I would go with Riesling or Pinot Blanc.
Okay.
White.
I hope I'm not being sacrilegious with these pairings, but shawarma.
Interesting. What kind?
Lamb.
Lamb shawarma with the sauce or without sauce?
Sauce.
Okay. Cream or spice?
Cream.
Cream, yeah.
I should run a restaurant. Okay, if you're gonna be doing the cream, again, lamb shawarma, it could be paired. If it is only cream, along with the shawarma, I would definitely pair it with the merlot, a nice merlot.
Okay. Where do rosés fit in though?
You know what? Us in Caribbean. I mean, I lived in St. Kitts for 18 years, so I call myself a Caribbean man. East Indian man turned into a West Indian man. So I could tell you for sure is rosés. Us in Caribbean, we should drink roses a lot because when we do the barbecues,
Okay.
right? When we do the grill,
Okay.
we have poultries, a lot of poultry into our dishes. Roses are really good for that. And with our weather,
Yes,
all
because it's
year
hot.
rosé.
Yeah.
I would drink rosé any given time.
And Moscato seems to be kind of popular as well.
Moscatos, yes. You see, what happens is like Indians, East Indian, West Indians, cuisines are, and the palate has been trained in such a way that, sweet wines, we are more focused on the
Yes.
sweet wines because of the food and etc. But given conditions, Moscatos, yes, it is a sweet wine, but I would do it with a fruit bowl. A good Moscato, the ST, I would sit down with a fruit bowl and enjoy it. But to drink it with just like that, I wouldn't do it because of the higher sugar content. I would rather turn my attention towards dry rosés, or I would go for Riesling, or I would go for Pinot Blanc or Pinot Gris because it does have a little bit of taste, a little bit of sugar, but not that much.
Okay.
So you can enjoy the wine. The Riesling will be the best actually.
Okay. Good to know because I've been trying. So now that I know the sugar content is a little higher, I'll probably
Will you
skip
like
that a little
barbecue
bit.
pork or
I like jerk pork. I should have asked. Yeah, jerk pork. So
Riesling?
Riesling.
Hands
okay.
down Riesling.
Okay. That's a German grape, right?
It is French and German.
French and German. Okay. Now, oh man, I was gonna ask something.
Because we still have to do the giveaway.
Yes,
so-
we have to do the giveaway.
Yes.
I guess we can start setting that up. And
Yes.
then-
Yeah, sure.
So hopefully everybody was listening to the questions that we were asking Sunny this morning. So let me see. The phone lines, we're going to be taking your calls, and you can win yourself something from Corks and Screws, obviously wine. That's what you'll be winning. So if you're not a wine drinker, you could always pass it off to somebody else, or enjoy it for yourself and with your loved one, because Valentine's is just around the corner and you probably were not quite sure what to get anyway. So wine would be a good thing to get.
Absolutely.
All right. So the questions, let's see.
Somebody's asking me the questions?
No, we're going to
Oh,
be
we're gonna
asking.
ask-
yeah, not you. We know you know
Remind
you
me, I
win
remember-
all of them anyway.
I remember the question I want to ask, but we'll ask in
Well, ask
between
it
the
really
calls.
quickly so I
okay.
could-
Which wine do you suggest for what's the best wine for sangria? If you wanna do a sangria pitch at home, and what wine you?
The wine which you love to drink.
Oh, so it doesn't matter what. So I can
No.
use a rosé or
Yes, the
okay.
wine which you love to drink, I think you should use it for sangria and for cooking. Otherwise, don't use it.
Okay. All right.
All right, so the first question is, what does vintage mean? I think we covered that while we were talking, yes? Or maybe we should do it now so at least they're paying attention and they could call in and win that bottle. Go ahead.
Yes.
So what does vintage mean?
You're asking, I thought we were waiting on a call.
Yeah, we are. Well, hopefully they know what that means.
Yeah,
And then they call in and ask.
in the context of wine.
In the context of wine.
Okay, so the numbers are 466-0989, 762-0989, and 662-0989. It's all about Cox and Screws Love Week and wine, wine, wine. The last wine is for the other kind of wine, huh? Right,
I just catch you. Okay, cool.
I guess it goes with the theme Valentine, right?
I know.
Yes, as we have clearly so decorated for, and to keep the ambience and everything for Love Week going.
So keep the calls. Let's get some calls going. Don't you guys want to win some free wine for Love Week? You'll have wine to drink on Valentine's Day next week, which happens to be next Wednesday, is it?
Next Wednesday?
Next Tuesday. No, wait. 6 and 8. Today's the 6th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Next
okay,
Tuesday.
So next Tuesday. All right. 8 days away. Let's get your calls. So in the meantime, what?
Or maybe if they know the answer and they're on social media, then they could always put it there, and then we could see if their answer actually matches what the the answer is. So you can either call us 466-0989, 662 or 762-0989, or you could put it on our social media page. I'm going to be checking that right now to see if anybody has put the answer to it as yet, because who doesn't want to win a couple bottles of wine?
In the meantime, pairing with cheeses, how's that work?
Depends what kind of cheese.
Okay.
Aged cheeses, like Parmigiani aged, or you have cheddar cheese, which is aged cheddar. You go for either Cab or Merlot.
Okay.
You have provolone, which is Gorgonzola. Gorgonzola is a blue cheese. Blue cheese, you can do it with the red wine too, with the high acidic levels. You have goat cheese. Goat cheese, I would definitely go with the white wine.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so folks, give us a call. We were having some trouble with the phone earlier, but there's no calls coming in now, so I don't know if everyone is. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's hope this works. It's Island Tea. Good morning. Hello, morning. Good morning. Okay, looks like we're having some issues here again. Let's try this again.
Somebody put in the comments, vintage means the year the grapes were, oh gosh, where did that go? Were harvested.
Yes, that's right.
All right. So, Miss Jackie Griot, if you could just give us your details, because she's the one who answered correctly on our Facebook page. See, that's why you have to listen to us on many levels. You have Facebook, you have the radio, you can call in, on YouTube, all of that. So, Miss Jackie Griot, because you answered correctly, you are the winner.
Wow.
So you could come to the studios here at WINN and pick up your bottles with the compliments of Corks and Screws.
Very nice. Congratulations, Jackie Greer. Don't forget you can give us a call as well. So maybe we might have to, if this problem with the phone persists, we might just have to do it that way.
Multiple platforms.
I mean, because Jackie Greer just won. Congratulations. Okay. There was another question I had in the meantime. Or maybe you want to put out that question, and then we can ask him another question.
So let's see. Hang on, because they're all in my phone. Let's see. Okay, no, not that one. Oh, also we're going to be doing giveaways during Voices as well. So for those listening as well, and you want to listen, remember I told everyone who is coming on later. So if they want to listen to that program as well, because it's going to be an interesting one, they can also win a prize there. Actually, I only have the one question for this morning. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, my bad. The common types of wine. Yes, that's the question. Name 5 common types of wine. That's the second question.
Oh, is that a question with a grape variety?
Well,
good question.
Good question.
I guess it's up to you. You can decide.
Yeah, you can just say, what are the common grape varieties in the wine?
Okay, common grape varieties. Okay, cool. Let's see if anybody knows the answer to that one.
That's a pretty hard one. I would think not for me, but for most people probably. Yeah.
Once you drink Muscat.
But yeah, so you kind of answered a question I had earlier when you just by talking. I always got the impression that Kititians and Caribbean people mostly into really sweet wines, like people not really into
You know what is this is something which I had tried it in my early stages of with the chemical composition, I should say, wine chemical composition. Barbecue. Try it with red Zinfandel. Well, technically Zinfandel is a red grape, so not white Zinfandel. It's
the red one.
Yeah, it's just Zinfandel. You should try that. It works very well.
I think the Beringer is one of the best Zinfandel.
Beringer is a white Zinfandel.
But there's a red one.
There's a red one.
That's the one
but not really. You have a lot of different zins coming from California. Beringer is something which is inexpensive. You have some old old wines. Old wines in, for example, Federalist. For example, what is the one? The new one called Michael David Lodi. Lodi region in California. Once it is not from Lodi region, the Zinfandel doesn't really taste the same.
Okay.
Italy produces Zinfandel, which is called Primitivo. Yeah, that's a Zinfandel grape, and I'm a big fan of the Lodi and the Primitivo.
The Shiraz, Syrah grape. Where is that from originally? Is that from? Where is it?
According what we have read, France is the mother country of all the grapes. So
the reason
he said that quite sarcastically.
Yeah. No, the reason I said it because I know Shiraz is it's like a Hebrew word or something, right? So I always thought.
Yes, that's what I was coming to because wine has been made and consumed before Christ era, which is BCE. So I don't understand how come France really became the
point.
It's funny.
But according to the book,
good point.
We're going to stick to the books today, not being controversial. So
okay, so somebody actually messaged me because they have my number. White wines, rosé wines, sparkling wines, dessert wines, fortified wines.
She's right, actually.
Wow.
Those are the 5 common wines, not the varieties.
So technically, they win.
Technically, they win for our host question, not on my question. So yeah, you can give them.
Okay. So congratulations to that person. He knows me. I know him, so he knows how to get in contact with us to get his.
So I guess we can add back a question about grapes, probably.
Yeah, grape varieties. Okay.
Yeah, we could probably have that for another time, and then because we're just about out of time at this point. So. But thank you so much, Sonny, for coming.
You're most welcome, and thank you.
So, Sonny, before you go, give us your opening hours, and once again, remind them of
the wine tasting.
Cox and Screws every morning between 9:30, 10 o'clock. We do open it. We open till 6 o'clock on the weekdays, which is Monday and Tuesday. Wednesdays we have wine tasting, so we are open really late. Not every Wednesday; it's every other Wednesday. Follow us on the Facebook and Instagram. We do a WhatsApp broadcast, and also once people are comfortable sharing the numbers. We put them on the list, and it's not the list that we keep bing 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 bing. No, nothing like that. It's right on the matter. It's right on the project, and also we open on the weekends from Wednesday till Saturday. So Monday to Saturday we are open. Sundays we are closed. Only on a special event we will be open on Sundays.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sonny, for coming in and partnering with us.
Thank you,
I hope you enjoyed the wine.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. If I could keep the glass. And anyway, let me behave.
So hopefully I'll get a taste of that. I don't know.
I will leave the bottle.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Sonny,
much.
Great. This
Enjoy.
was fun. Okay. And I hope you have a great love week. Sales-wise and romantically speaking.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Thanks.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for Island Wine. I mean, Island Tea. Just kidding. I had to do that. And that was Sonny. He's a sommelier from Cox and Screws. And you heard what the man said. You can go on down to Cox and Screws and pick up some wine. After all, it's Love Week. Valentine is 8 days away. So that's going to do it for this edition of Island Tea for AZ and Shari. This is James Hussein. Peace, love, and fat beats. I'm going to go have some wine.